everybody. It's the day after I posted the latest podcast with that very ominous card, So, tarot card. So we've got Agita there, and we've got one of the babies here, and we've got the other baby here. And I'm about to have my breakfast of champions, which is now, this is a sort of a return. This is like semi-junkie, it's sort of junkie food, but it's coming back food. It's a bowl of that ramen thing, and cheesies, and cheese. So there's like a protein there. I had a very good night. Exchanged some texts with my former student, former podcaster friend, and he made some very good comments, and he made some comments on YouTube itself, and he compared the podcast I posted last night, the episode, to, and I'd even forgotten, and he remembers the details. There's so many damn podcasts now, but he compared them to the three-parter I did, 1.5 years clear. So that's about 2 years ago now. And that's when I had been clean for about 1.5 years during the pandemic, and I had adopted the kids, and I'd had them about a year, babies. I had them about a year, and there were strong pulls, but it was still, the pandemic was just kind of lingering, wasn't quite over. And I had a very close call. I actually went to Slither, and then the dealer didn't show up, and then I backed out. No, and I looked at that, and he remembered that there was some similarity between that and this, and I thought it was about the setting of goals and close calls. This time it was more than a close call. I went, well, it was a close call with death, rather than a close call with binging. But I looked at those carefully. I reviewed them today, those old podcasts. And yeah, he has a really good memory because there were a lot of similarities there, and the kids and friends as pushes, and the close call. This time the close call was a closer call because I really did do the drugs last time. I almost did them, and then I stayed clear another 4.5 months, and once the pandemic was over. Moreover, that's when I slithered again. And as I told him, the pandemic, it did actually help me, rather than it helped me more than it harmed me. So, and the other thing, the synchronicity. When I was looking over my those podcasts, I realized that the hotel where I had that close call in Mississauga, I won't say where, which, but the hotel where I almost slithered after 1.5 years. It didn't happen because of the unreliable dealer. And we had unreliable dealers started playing roles in this too. But that hotel, and I'm not going to say more, but it played a role. I didn't actually, and the same thing happened. I didn't actually slither party there, but connected with someone there and then partied elsewhere. But that place played a role, and it was sort of similar, sort of synchronicity, because in both instances, back then and now, I almost partied there but didn't. But this time, I partied elsewhere. A very weird place too, but I'm not going to talk about all of that here. Keep that for the writing. So today, I haven't written actually anything in 3 or 4 days. I've been, I did the podcast, and I have been replying to friends, texts, and emails. So that is written material, and quite a bit of it. So I'm going to paste that into material now, and then I'm going to start with journal entries, and then I'm going to start there's a lot to write about here, and the death scar. There's still pull. I'm not saying there isn't pull, and as I said, there was a little bit. First time I felt a little bit of, my analyst kept going, are you feeling physiological pull, particularly with that other substance, the harder one. He's like, are you feeling? I really hadn't done enough of it. I would do a little bit every few weeks, there'd be a binge, but one time usually isn't enough for a physiological. And my amounts compared to a daily user's amounts are well, that's quite a bit, but it's like a one session. It's like it might be all night, it might be into the next day, but it's not like 3, 4, 5 days in a row. But this time, I think because I've been doing the substance like 2 weeks ago, and then again this time, and there was like a 9 hours. So the Friday was a long stretch, and it was that substance mixed with the other substance mixed with a lot of other things. So I think on Saturday, this is the first time I felt not really, not even a physiological. It was just like kind of a tiny little bit of, a little bit of sort of withdrawal. It was like, oh, I'm like lying in bed and I'm like, I'm feeling not just the psychological pull I went to, but my body was kind of going, we need the substance. And that's actually the first time in all these years that I felt that. I could actually feel my body going, substance, please, because we're replenished now, and we need that. A little bit, tiny, nothing compared to what a daily user would. And you'd have to do the stuff for days at a time, morning, night, which daily users do. To really build up the that whole withdrawal and need, physiological need for the substance. For me, the stage I'm at, I'm still, it's really psychological need, but we're at that threshold of the physiological. If I was to keep doing it every day, from now on, if I was to do it every day for the next week, 2 weeks, they would start to be physiological, So, and that's, and I pulled that very symbolic, and that card has kind of scared the shit out of me too, the death one, because yes, I get it, it's symbolic. Hello everybody, here I am just outside my doctor's office in scenic Brampton, Ontario, and I had a good night with the kids. They cuddled, all of that stuff. I did quite a bit of writing yesterday, like 20 pages. I just started, but at least an outline and some of the thoughts, and I cut and pasted some of the stuff that I had written, in my texts, for texture. So I did about 20 pages, which is quite a bit for, it took a long time to get into it. But once I after a binge and after a hiatus, it's sort of harder to get back into the writing process. But I kind of had to jumpstart myself, and I'm back into it, and it's flowing. So, and then I did make a morning entry today. But the news is, I had a good night with the kids. They cuddled, all of that, fed them. They did, but the news is the pull is still very strong. It's not gone away, and that's, as I said before, that's the problem with this thing, is that the inner whatever, the werewolf or the dragon or the anima, the whatever it is, the pull, it doesn't. It's id. Freud said it doesn't get satiated. So on the one hand, it doesn't get what it wants. It didn't get a particular substance on the last binge. It didn't get a particular activity. It's like going, we didn't get that. Want it now. So rather than 6 weeks, it became like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then it became another 2 weeks because that one, it didn't get that. And then now on this last one, I get a lot. I get a lot of substance and the other substance and the various activities and the whatever likes. It got a lot, and it was extended, and it was many, 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 many hours. Still not happy. It's like going, yeah, you find what we wanted, and now why are we sitting at home? Let's go back there. The freaking thing is insatiable. It's like going, you got what we wanted. It's, it's only money, and it might, I'm not concerned about whether it's dangerous or not. I'm not aware of reality, so I don't give a shit. I just want to be doing my thing, and we got some good stuff there. So let's go. And I'm like going, fuck off. But I've still been, I've been battling it. It's not like, it's satiated, I hours and hours and lots of substances, and now we're good for 6 weeks. Doesn't quite work that way, unfortunately. So I came to see my doctor. Now I have, I think, probably the best doctor in the entire world. Now she's scientific, and she's checking the blood sugar, and I don't hold anything back about the the frequency increasing, and she did at first suggest cognitive behavioral therapies and the rehab things, and I looked into all of that. As I said before, that would be for me like PUSS, going to that old lady's thing and being sprayed with water, So that's I would tell them, and she's like, "You'll never know." And I go, look, it's just not my. And I actually told her, I said, "Look, I picked a tarot card the other night, death," and she said, "Well, that's not." I said, "Look, look at it from this perspective. Even if you don't believe in it yourself, it's not scientific. But if I think that there's something in it, and I think that that's a symbolic thing, or that there's a possible actual death, if it helps me to do as a push." And she goes, "Yeah, I see that." And she, but I actually even told her about puss. And I said, my friend suggested maybe your doctor could count how many lives you've used up. And I said, I don't think my doctor does that. And she laughed. She's really, but and she was like going, how's that not doing the clinical thing working for you? And I go, it is working in the sense that I'm alive and that I'm not a daily user, because at the level at which I go to when I party, as I said, I'm one of the people that, like, when I'm there, I pick up crumbs from the floor. Somebody told me that apparently I think Joe Biden's son had a serious drug addiction at some point. And I think somewhere he said that I might have, smoked some Parmesan, because you're picking up anything that's kind of white from the floor or the counter, and you're ingesting it, you're smoking it, or you're snorting it, or you're doing whatever, So I'm like going, yeah, could be Parmesan. Yeah, I get to the Parmesan stage, So it's like, so nobody actually believes me when I go, I do 5-6, or I had until now, that I do 5-6 weeks, because I become such a junkie. So the fact that, that I don't have to, steal, my money will run out because it's finite, and I'm just, cashing in RSP, stuff like that. But, I don't have to steal at this point. So I get, I just have to juggle accounts and RSPs and all of that. And, so, the fact that I become such a junkie, it is such a strong pull. The fact that I'm not a daily user, and I'm not dead, and I'm not a daily user. I see that as a success. I see that as as working. Which rehab would not have. Rehab is would be a few hours. I tell everyone to fuck off and walk out, and the clinical stuff is just. So I told her I'm willing to. I incorporate in my own pushes. I've got the, some CBT stuff, some, individualistic therapy stuff. I've got my own, frameworks and, the journal entries and all of that stuff. I'm using, some of the suggested approaches, not quite meditation, but, the recording of thoughts and the tracking of thoughts and stuff like that. There's some cognitive stuff in there, So I got cognitive stuff, I got some cognitive behavioral stuff, I've got, the eating out, self-reinforcement, punishment, schedules of reinforcement, all of that stuff, which reminds me I gotta go find something to eat, So I got all of those things. I got some of the stuff that they would give me in CBT. I have incorporated the stuff that I think works for me, but not the rest of the bullshit stuff, And I mix that with my own stuff, the pushes, the kids, and the contact with friends, and the dream analysis, the internal stuff, and the little bit of mystical stuff with the tarot. And, identifying with PUSS, the mystical hero and the mystical journey. So my doctor, she's like, skeptic. She says, you haven't quite convinced me yet, but she says, just stay alive. And I'm going, thank you, doctor. She's a very good doctor. I'm like, so we made our next appointment, and I kind of joked with her. I said, doctor, do you think you can count my how many lives I've used of my 9 lives as a cat? She was just kind of laughing. So I think that went fairly well, Now, as I told her, so we've made another appointment for end of July, because, rather than 3 months or 4 months, I did tell her that, my goal, and it's going to be very hard because the pulls are very strong, but my goal is to make it to my friend's wedding in 15th of July, and then to my own birthday. So we're going to, my next appointment is, and the blood sugar was up a little bit. And I think it's probably all the irregular eating habits when I'm binging and stuff, and and though she actually advises it may be better not to take the blood sugar thing during a binge, because So anyway, I'm like going, well, the goal is not to binge, at least until end of July, So that's where we are now. So you know what? Enough. I'm going to go find something to eat. We're in Brampton, Indian. There was a place for a sushi place. I don't know. Hello, everybody. After the doctors, I found an all-you-can-eat sushi place here in Brampton, even though sushi isn't Brampton's main thing. And it's a sort of a little bit back from the road, and it's an off time, so I'm the only customer. But I'm starting with the dynamite roll. So rather than, slithering in large amounts of substances, I thought I'd just come and feed it sushi. It's not quite the same, but it's feeding it something. Anyway, so far, so the food is actually okay. It's very quiet here, but the food is good, and the chef is very carefully making everything there. It's so far so good. I'll let you know how it is. I'm the only customer, but anyway, I don't mind. Bye for now. Tempura shrimp wonton, which is very crispy, very hot, very good, and soup which I haven't tried yet. Hello everybody, it's now the next day, and Agita is very nicely settled in there. One of the babies is there, camouflaged on his bed, and then the other baby is there. And I had a nice night. Babies on the bed with me, cuddling, Agita nearby, and then in the morning, playtime and food time, and a very long conversation with my father, and then a nice email exchange with my out-of-province friend. So the pools are still there, but better. That card really helped as a deterrent. As my friend agreed, she said, I'm taking it sort of the right way, taking it as a warning and also symbolically. So, hello everybody, I'm here to play some blower. My niece walked outside. I'm having eggs and toast and home fries. And I haven't been here before, so next Smart. I think I've been to other ones. But, the food is good, but I'm not a big fan of this style of home fries. It's like just big chunks of potatoes, and they only have franks, no Tabasco. Now, I don't know if I've taped since yesterday, but there have been some developments in that yesterday I did do some writing. At least I started. I did some cutting and pasting, and then started another piece about the latest, binge. And the details I hold back from podcast. And, I worked on journal entries. And then I ended up calling the Cirque du Soleil people, that circus thing with the big tent that you can see at a distance from my window. And it's closing in 2 days, 3 days, and Sunday is the last day. And I talked to a guy, and I said, you want the cheapest seat? Because I'm just kind of curious as to what it looks like inside the tent. I've seen the outside of the tent, and I did see, Cirque du Soleil 30 years ago with my first ex. I didn't tell him it was when we were on ecstasy. But, and then he goes, there's hardly any seats left, and he says, the cheapest at 4:30 is like, $120. And I said, what's available in the 7:30 show? And he said, there's one for $69 plus tax and service fee and this and that, like $79. And he goes, but it's right at the back. And I'm like, that's fine. I just want to go inside the tent, Fine, good, thank you. I just want to go inside the tent and, see what it's like. And, even if I don't see all the details of the show, that's fine, I'm, going to absorb a bit of the energy, and I'm just curious as to what the tent looks like from inside rather than from outside at a distance, or when I drive past or walk past. So that's all set. I'm paid on Visa, my phone. And he said to get there half an hour early, and I said I don't have to worry about parking. Parking's $35, So anyway, that's what's happening. So I had a very nice night with Agita and the babies. Baby slept in the bed with me. Time with Agita. Fed the kids in the morning. Had some nice exchanged some nice emails with friends and texts. And a house that I saw on the market. Not that my house will be finished in time while this is still on the market. There's no freaking way at the pace my contract is moving at. But, I did tell my contractor about the house too, and I said, if we can speed up a little bit, but there is no way. It's a very nice house at a good price. But I sent the link to my cat rescuer friends, and they both love the house because it's got a catio, and it's got big windows for the kids to sit. Cat rescuers look at at all the ads from a cat's eye perspective, and they go, it's got big windows, the kids will love it, and they go, it's got a catio, and it's the right size, and it's got updated kitchen and bathrooms for myself, and it's got a finished basement, nicely finished basement, and it's in a good area, and I can walk to, it's like 3 blocks to fast food, and diners, and, it's not isolated like my current house, and a very good price. So they were like all excited, and it's kids, and Agita is there, settling on the wheelchair, and one of the babies is there, and the other baby is there, under the chair. Now, I got back, exchanging emails with a friend, and there's the big top, right past those buildings, so I'm going to be walking there, long leg short. It's supposed to be thunderstorms later. I just hope it isn't right when I'm walking there. It's probably be the case. But anyway, for now, I'm just resting at home with the kids, doing some laundry, and getting ready to go to the big top. Finally, like 2 days before it ends, so I'm going to know what's inside there. I might not be able to see much of the action because I'm going to so far back, but at least I'm going to know what's inside those striped tents, So, just relaxing with the kids. Then I get ready and walk. 7:30 show. Should need to be the 7. Leave here 6:30. That's half an hour at most. Maybe give it a few extra minutes. Just I don't want to be late. And I got to make my way right up to the back somewhere. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to be allowed to film or take pictures in there, but we'll see. I can just before and just after. Anyway, from the 4 of us. Bye for now. Hello everybody, it's a couple of hours later and look how comfortable everyone is. Everyone is. Daddy should be laying on the floor with the belly up too. And that one's very comfortable there. Now, I'm just about ready. It's almost 6. There's the top, right through those, the big top, right through those buildings. Gonna walk there. It was supposed to thunderstorm. On my way, our building is there. There, you can just see the top of the trees, and Cirque du Soleil is there, just on the other side of those buildings, that way, So I'm a little early, so we might have time for ice cream on the way. We'll see. Bye for now. It's just over that way, across the road, and over a bit, like a 10-minute walk, if that from here. And it was like 10 minutes, right in between. It was like 10 minutes walking from the building. So it's my usual spot. I often come here for the gelato. It's a pistachio. So I'm going to have this, and then off to the tent, the circus, no animals, very good, I'm glad they don't have it. I'm so glad that I don't have to park or, get caught in the traffic. I'm just walking. And I guess these are the people who are coming out of the 4:30 show. So there's the tent, almost there, still a bit early. Okay, about to head in. I saw the thing there, I think it says you can take pictures, but not videos, if I'm understanding those symbols correctly. Anyway, heading in. Oh yeah, this is where all the smell of popcorn is coming from. Look, there's popcorn things and stuff. Oh, so this is like the vestibule, I guess. Anyway, I'm not going to get popcorn. Popcorn is $12, and one of those pretzel thingies is $9. I think I'm good. I'm going to have my a nice veggie burger, like probably $15, at a nice place across the road on my way back. So, and I have my ice cream, waiting at this gate 6, but you know what? I can almost see the babies, the kids, Agita, not that tall black building on the left, but the one on the right is kind of peeking, and we're in that wing, maybe halfway up, So, hi kids, Daddy's about to go see a show. Bye for now. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to take videos, but it hasn't started yet, so this is just where I am. It's not too bad. Anyway, bye for now. Okay, it's really bad to feed. I mean, it's right at the very, very back, but it's not as deep as I thought it would be. And the seat on my, 2 seats on my right are taken by two women, but nobody on my left. So if nobody comes on my left, I'll just move over one later. Then we'll have a little bit more space. But so far, I mean, I'm not really going for $80. I think this is a pretty good seat. Anyway, bye for now. I'm pretty sure I won't be able to tape actually during the performance. But okay, I was talking to the 2 very nice ladies to my right, and we were planning, if nobody was going to sit there, we were planning on kind of moving over a bit and taking a bit more space. But the whole family has got a lot of seats, that row and that row, so we're being a little crowded, but we can't complain. It's just about to start. Okay, bye for now. Hello everybody, it was very good. They've got acrobatics and they've got trapeze and the clown stuff I wasn't too thrilled about. And there's like a clown dressed up as a dog, but there's no cat clown. But we had a little bit of drama llama here because I had put my jacket on this railing here and then it fell to the back. and there's a drop of quite a few feet. So, but it turned out I wasn't the only one. People sitting here, the lady dropped her jacket, and the one sitting over there dropped her jacket. So they opened the door down there and they went and found them. I got my jacket. Fortunately, I maybe had a sense that this was going to happen because I kept my wallet and my condo keys in this pocket, just in case I got separated from my jacket, which happened. But they found it. And I got a hat. My Corvette hat is in there, and it's my one of I got this jacket years ago when I was doing lectures for the Ontario Fire College. So it's got the little Fire College logo on it. My students gave it to me as a as a appreciation. So. Yeah, I'm glad I got my jacket back. So anyway, so that's what's happening. It's good. It's very, very good. Now I know what's going on in here, and I'm sitting next to some very nice women, and these people were nice too. They lost their jacket. So it's been fun. I think I probably enjoyed the first time 30 years ago more. Well, that's probably because I was on ecstasy. This time it's over. Anyway, bye for now. Hello everybody, the show was very good. I mean, the seats weren't all that bad, and the two ladies sitting next to me were very nice, and I kind of walked them back to their sons. So there was a woman around my age, maybe slightly younger, and then her mother was probably a little bit younger than my mother. And but the one who's my age, she has a son who lives in the next building, this very building, but the next one over that way. So I kind of walked them back, and the mother was walking with a cane. But it was very nice to sort of have company. And the show was quite spectacular, particularly these two guys that were in this sort of hamster wheel thingy. And then they came out of the hamster wheel, and they were like jumping around outside, and it was spinning around, and I felt kind of nauseous and dizzy just watching. But, I still think that the one I saw 30 years ago was better, but that could have been the ecstasy. But this was a good show. It was a nice evening out. And I came here to Eden, I think is closed, just next door. So I came here to Firkin and got here after 10, so they only have the late night menu. So it's chicken wings or, chicken tenders. So I went for the Bang Bang shrimp, which is actually quite nice, but I ordered the super, super hot wing sauce on the side. It's an extra $1. It's very hot. Hello everybody, I just got home and one of the babies is there, and one of the babies is there under the chair, and Agita is there. Now, after my Bang Bang shrimp with the very, very hot sauce, there weren't too many shrimps, so I ended up stopping at Rabba and just getting a tuna wrap, which I can have here with the hot sauce that was left over that I had packed, and one of the kids is going into the till. And you can see in the distance, we're going to turn off see there's lights there. It's hard to make out, but in between all the buildings and with all the other lights. But that is, you could just about make out the actual tents. That's where. Hello everybody, it's the next day after I saw the Cirque du Soleil. I had a very good night with babies cuddling on the bed with me and Agita nearby here on the perch. And I fed everybody, got up relatively early. Fed everybody wet food. I had my own breakfast, just left over half a tuna wrap from last night that I picked up and wrap on my way back. So we've got, right now, we've got Agita there, got one baby there. Hey, sweetie pie, you're doing, you look like your sister. You're like looking the other way when Daddy's filming, And then we've got, the other baby here. I think this one is Finn, because that hand down, that's kind of Finn style. So we get Finn there, and we get Lcee there, and we get Agita there, and I'm just going to spend some time with the kids, and I'm going to try to do some writing. I wrote a... Hello everybody, I was on my way. I did a little bit of writing today, not a lot, another 5 pages, so a little disjointed, but at least I'm moving again. Stuff that I hold back from podcast. And then I spent some time with the kids, and then I'm like, okay, I'm heading out to the College Street Festival. Little Taste of Little Italy, or something like that it's called. They have booths and lots of, stuff going on. So I'm driving along, and of course I'm passing one of my favorite car washes, my car wash for this area of town. So of course I had to stop. So my friend out of Province will be quite pleased with this. She likes my washing cars because it's a good rechanneling for me, which it is. Anyway, bye for now. Everybody, I'm just about to enter college, Little Italy, taste of Italy, taste of college, something like that, whatever. So I came over this way, couldn't find parking, went down that way, couldn't find parking, went all the way up to Ossington, finally found parking. So it's like a 10-minute walk, but it's okay. I got parking. So now there's not as many humans as I would have expected. So now the thing is, I gotta find some food, but without very long lineups. Avoid human children. There's a lot of human children there because they got those things that walk this way. There's probably less of the human children. Good thing I don't see any dogs, but I do see human children. Anyway, bye for now. Line up for this. It's it's called Motorino, and they've got a wood-burning pizza oven on that little, whatever that thing is. Kind of like a rickshaw thing. In India they call them something. But anyway, it's kind of interesting. I'm not surprised there's a long lineup. Well, I managed to get my first food. There's a sushi bon. It's Colombian street food, so I'm not sure quite about this combination of sushi and Colombian street food. But I got just empanada, cheese empanada, and it's like it was like $5. The other place they were like $7. It's very small, but it's nice. Everybody, I got the shrimp toast, $6 for 2 pieces, and this is sushi bon. So it's one of their. Okay, in the end, for my main course, I did go for Indian. There's this Indian place here, and they have they're cooking butter chicken. They got butter chicken outside, and they got with rice. You can have like just pieces of tandoori chicken, but no rice, nothing. It's just pure chicken, 6 pieces. So I went for this. It's not bad. It's not spicy enough for me. I asked for hot sauce, and then I was outside, and they don't have everything out there, and there are tables outside, but everybody's sitting at them. So I asked her, I said, this is your food from outside, can I come in? And she said, okay, fine. So it's not bad, actually. The sign here, normal is weird. Actually, today when I was writing about weird and word, the fate thing that came up in a previous podcast. Sorry. So I was kind of writing a little bit about that in relation to the latest things. Anyway, bye for now. Just gelato, and then back to the car. Okay, lined up and got my gelato. I got 2 types of pistachio. Sicilian pistachio, which is the lighter one, and then the regular pistachio. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Agita sitting there. One of the babies brought this thing there. This is one of the baby's favorite toy thingies. But Agita settled there, and both the babies are here. They were playing in the master bedroom with all the toys. We've had a very good Father's Day so far. Last night, the babies cuddled very nicely in the bed with me for quite some time. Obviously, the new Father's Day. And Agita has been relatively nice to her brothers, and sitting very nicely here. And I'm just going to feed the kids and work on a journal entry, and then head out for a brunch. Then come back and want to edit and post. So that's. I didn't have the breakfast anymore, so I just got a regular thali here at the vegetable thali here at Gali Kitchen. It came with rice and then veggies, but I thought it also came with bread. I'll have to ask. I thought there was also roti with it. But there's lots of hot sauce in there. There's a hot sauce. The food is good. Bye for now. Hello everybody. I got back just a few minutes ago and I got changed and started some laundry, and both the babies are here on the bed. Agita is there in the hall. Both the babies here on the bed. And I was just lying here. It's kind of a midday family time, which is, we usually don't do it at this time. But I think this is because it's Father's Day, So I'm going to spend a little bit of time more with them here. And Agita is very nearby there, within sight, almost. You can see her tail on that perch. I'm just going to spend some more Father's Day family time here. and then I'll move to the living room and do some comments about the week, and then try to edit and post. Bye for now. Hello everybody, it's about half an hour later, and Agita is still very nicely settled in her perch, facing away from the rest of her family, of course. And the rest of the family, we have been father and sons bonding. We were all three napping on the bed. So father and sons napping on Father's Day on the bed. But then one baby got up, and then like, maybe I should get up and tape a bit more and then edit and post. Well, it's 10 days clear today, and this last, round, I mean, they do seem to get deeper into shadow, and I'm not going to go into all the details, but they was pretty deep, and, it would have been very hard to get out, because in that last slither, there was a lot of elements that was kind of worked for me, worked a little too well, and, always dangers of the daily user thing, but I managed to get out thanks to the usual pushes, of course, the kids, friends, eating out, and now also adding things like Cirque du Soleil, but really the additional push for that, the very strong pulls after the last, slither. The real push has also been that card, the one I picked on the ego chair, which I'm not sitting on today because I'm not selecting cards. We're talking about dreams. So it was that picking that the death card, and it goes two ways, as I've said. I mean, symbolically, new beginnings, all of that stuff. End of maladaptive stuff. Hopefully, that's the positive interpretation. Symbolism, somebody once said to me a long time ago when I was starting to get into this stuff, symbolism is a double-edged sword. So there is that positive aspect of the card, but there's also the literal aspect. And because of where I had been and what was going on, and the whole daily user thing, and the stuff escalating, and the time also reducing. We went from like 6 weeks to 2 weeks. So all of that, the literal death is not out of the question, which is what my analyst kept saying to me. Part of the reason I fired him. So, but not always, not entirely. It was just a different way of glance. So it hasn't been working for me for a few years now, ever since we pretty much switched to Zoom. So that's what's been happening. That card really helped. If it had not been for that card, I would have been. Who knows? It's hard to say what. And then the doctor, that helped. I mean, she wouldn't count my lives or anything, and she won't talk about tarot. Oh, obviously, she's a medical doctor. Even though, as I pointed out, if I believe that a certain card has a meaning, then it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy. We're kind of pushing for the positive self-fulfilling prophecy here, And she's not entirely convinced that my method, the Nutty Professor method, has been any more effective than a traditional cognitive CBT, whatever therapy, traditional rehab perspective approach. But I'm pretty sure, and she goes, "Oh, we'll never know." And I said, "Well, you can't, obviously." That's one of the things I used to say when I used to try to evaluate therapies in lectures, is that, you can't do double-blind research on this type of thing, So, but knowing myself, and just knowing, and I do know what therapy involves, because I used to teach that stuff, and I know, the work of Ellis and all the people that are used and all of that stuff, and schedules of reinforcement, and I try to, incorporate some of those. There's a bit of CBT in here, the self-reward, the eating out, the going to Cirque du Soleil. That's sort of. I mean, it adapted into my own way. Skinner schedules of reinforcement and some CBT type stuff. So, and then I got some, Jungian stuff with the dream analysis and all of that, which I'm doing on my own now. So it's a multidisciplinary approach, which also, I'm also including tarot, mystical stuff. We got various levels going on here. So, seeing the doctor was interesting, and, and she's a good doctor. She doesn't push, She mentions, she goes, I would be more comfortable if you did, if you had like traditional therapy and some, research. But whatever you're doing, do it. She can't force me, and she's like, and as I said, she's not quite convinced that. And I said, if I had gone the traditional therapy route, it would have lasted. I mean, my analyst lasted 29 years, which is pretty amazing. The last 4 years weren't of much use, but I did last, 29 years with my analyst because it was kind of the right approach at the right time for the most part, until I started to go way off the grid where he couldn't follow, and he was trying to pull me back to the ordinary world in ways that, wouldn't work for me. So, but the other, as I've said, the traditional rehab, even the very expensive one where they have the personal trainer and the chef who caters their, your meals to your particular addiction so you get the right amount of protein. I would have told them to fuck off on the first day. Personal trainer waking me up, 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd have been like, fuck off, and I'd have left and I wouldn't have got a refund. So I'm pretty sure that that's it. I'm pretty sure that that's what would have happened. And my way has kept me alive for all this time. I'm not a daily user, and I'm alive, which my doctor didn't think that was a really good operational definition of success. But for me, anyway, it's all good. I'm still here. Kids are here. Friends, I got contact with my friends, and I went there. You can just see the tent in the distance up there. Oh, there. Where is it? Somewhere there. In there. That's the Cirque du Soleil. So that's what's been happening. Day 10 clear. Thanks to that. Thanks to my kids. Thanks to my friends. Thanks to Cirque du Soleil. Thanks to that tarot card. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. Thanks to that tarot card. That tarot card. It would be an irony if pulling the death card saved my life, But anyway, I know I'm exaggerating a little bit. It's not quite there, but and that whole thing. Who knows? When I was having that discussion with the doctor, who knows what would have happened if I had gone this way or that way or whatever, So here we are, but here we are now, As Campbell says, returning from the underground, the hero and anti-hero, whatever. PUSS needs to live in the present, even though part of my present involves writing about the past and sharing experiences, and there has to be a little bit of setting up for the future, and I've got my incentive, and that's another pull now. Another push now is making it, and I've said this publicly. I've said it in podcasts. I've said it to my doctor. So that puts a little bit more pressure, but hopefully a little bit more incentive that I do want to make it to my friend's wedding, clear, and then which is less than a month now, and then a couple of days later to my next birthday. I think 12 in cat years or something like that. So, and that, my birthday, I think exactly a month from today. So that's the goal. And then not to say that I make it to there and then on the 19th I go party, That's always a danger of doing that kind of thing. But let's hope that we can set up enough of a foundation until then, the new beginning thing, that, I'll have the frameworks and the pull won't be as strong. Hopefully. Being optimistic here. Anyway, from the four of us. So happy Father's Day to all the cat fathers and fathers of other species, including human children. Happy Father's Day to all of you. So from the four of us. So from Agita, from one baby and two baby. Okay. So from the two babies. Look at this man, like right on the edge of the bed. So from one baby, two baby, okay, Gita, and myself, the nuttiest and craziest professor to ever walk the face of the earth. Bye for now. See you next podcast. Hello, everybody. I've come to this place. By the time I did everything, I got out of the condo. It was like almost 4 o'clock, and I missed the breakfast here. You know, at the I used to come for the fried egg and have a thali, but they have a lunch. Oh, they have a thali, which is similar. Maybe a bit more variety in the veggies, and you don't get an egg.